We're going to answer 10 questions that you should think about before getting an African gray parrot. Whether you're thinking about living with an African gray or just curious about them, here are some common questions we get. One very important thing to note is that if you don't have a lot of time or patience, then I would not suggest getting them as a companion animal. One thing to consider is that there are many parrots out there that are up for adoption because the person did not know what they were getting into. If you're dead set on getting one, consider the adoption route. So, are African Greys suitable for apartment living? In my first year with Coco, my Congo African Grey, we lived in a studio apartment in Portland, Oregon. She wasn't always loud, but her mimicry of fire trucks at 8 a.m. nearly got me evicted. If you're in an apartment, be ready for unpredictable sounds. These birds are intelligent, vocal, and sometimes hilariously inconvenient. So, can you live in an apartment with one? Well, yes, you can, but your neighbors might not be too happy, especially if they work from home and need some peace and quiet during the daytime. How much daily interaction do they require? During my graduate school years and later veterinary college, I scheduled my classes around Coco's most active hours. I ensured I came home during the day to study with Coco by my side. She thrived on routine and expected at least 3 solid hours of daily social time, whether talking, training, or sitting nearby while I read. Without that, she'd start screaming and screeching like a toddler having a tantrum. Do African Greys tend to bond with only one person? Yes and no. It can cause drama. Coco latched onto me early and barely tolerated other people, even lunging when they got too close. Over time, with treats and consistency, we helped Coco warm up to others, but it took months and lots of patience. How prone are they to behavioral issues like feather plucking? Sadly, some birds go through a plucking phase. This can happen if you take a job that requires more extended hours. African Greys are sensitive and intelligent, and stress manifests physically. They can pluck their chest feathers until you come home. A rotating toy setup, more foraging challenges, and a part-time pet sitter can help your bird combat boredom. We make DIY foraging boxes for our parrot. These help keep her entertained while we're out working long hours. What constitutes a balanced diet for an African Grey? Don't make the rookie mistake of giving your gray too many sunflower seeds. Although they may love them, they aren't a healthy staple. After some research and consult with an avian vet, I shifted to pellets, fresh veggies, birdie bistro, fresh food, and rotating fruits like papaya, mango, apple. My bird loves this daily variety, which keeps her healthy. I take her to an avian vet annually, and her health is in tip-top shape. What are some common health issues to watch out for? African Greys are notorious for calcium deficiency. Per my veterinarian's recommendation, I added plenty of calcium-rich veggies to her diet. Also, watch for changes in droppings. They are often the first sign that something's off. At what age do they start talking, and how extensive can their vocabulary be? At what age do they start talking, and how extensive can their vocabulary be? Many African Greys will start talking somewhere between 6 and 12 months, but don't be surprised if yours takes longer to get any clear words out. Coco said her first words at almost 2 years old. At that time, I began to think she wouldn't be a talker, but after hearing me constantly tell her I have to take the dogs out now, she began repeating it. We did write an article, which we'll link to in the description, on some tried and true ways to get your African Grey to talk more. By age 3, our bird was stringing together simple phrases like want some nuts and time to go to bed, Coco. She surprised everyone regularly by impersonating my phone and repeating my partner's laugh almost perfectly. Can they understand the use of words in context? Absolutely. Coco would ask, "Are you okay?" when someone was obviously upset. Usually, when I leave the room, she mutters, "See you later." These birds are not just doing mimicry, they are in tune with your emotional state. So just know that they are watching you and looking at your every move, and they are much more in tune with your emotional state than you even realize. How do African Greys handle changes in environment or routine? I've heard many other parrot parents talk about their bird refusing to eat for 2 or 3 days after rearranging the furniture in the room. African Greys crave consistency, and any disruption can throw them off. However, my bird Coco does not mind variations. Her openness to new things may be because she's been experiencing them regularly since I got her. I've learned to gradually make changes, always involving her by showing and narrating my actions. The next question is it advisable to travel with an African gray? Yes, absolutely. I've taken Coco on road and airplane trips since the first year I've had her. She never seemed to be stressed out, but many African greys do not do well with travel. The ones who don't do well with travel may be birds that haven't had enough exposure. So the key thing to remember is to take it slow and gradually introduce your bird to the outside world. If you're considering bringing home an African gray, know that you're getting into a relationship rather than a pet ownership. These birds are brilliant, hilarious, high maintenance companions who will challenge your patience daily. Only bring one into your home if you're ready for a full-time commitment. These birds are not ones to be taken lightly, and anything less would be doing a disservice to the African gray parrot.
Step up.